Mike, it's not a matter of trust for you. You know things that, and dumb idiots who don't know anything find people who know things to be grating and bothersome. All right, let's get going.
We have Bernie Sanders and AOC in the building. You guys are about to go up and speak at one of another one of the rallies that you've been doing, the Fighting Oligarchy tour. And I'm very excited to have you here. Vegas, specifically for me, has a lot of importance because I always say it's like the last time that I felt really hopeful about the future of this country, because I was outdoor knocking for you along with the Chapo boys as well in the primaries.
And we did pretty well, huh?
Yeah, and everyone kept saying, oh, the culinary union is not going to vote, but the rank and file very clearly was swinging in your direction. And in spite of the media attacks, you obviously pulled through, and then COVID, and then all hell broke loose, obviously, and here we are. You don't have a lot of time, so and I'm sure that we'll get to talk a little bit more in the future as well, but I went to Japan recently, and I got both of you guys gifts. I actually have another gift for you, but unfortunately I don't have your gift, the actual gift here. Hold on. This one's for you. This is a Palestinian movement in Japan.
Thank you.
Solidarity with Palestine. And this is a little train for public transit. I have a Japanese Communist Party pin for you as well, but unfortunately, because I went over there and I checked out their headquarters. But what are you guys trying to accomplish with these rallies? Let's get started.
I mean, I think that the kind of moment that we're in, and also something that Trump was able to exploit, was really practicing, even though he doesn't believe in working class politics, they had a very focused working class strategy, wasn't effective at that, wasn't successful at that. And I think one of the things that we're here to do is to actually rally a class-conscious movement to bring people together and to show that we can fight for a better future, not in marginalizing and attacking people, marginalized people, but actually in rejecting the differences that we have to come together in common cause and to organize folks.
Well, I agree. To me, this country faces the worst set of crises that we have faced in a very, very, very long time. We are looking at a nation which is now oligarchic. And they don't hide it. I mean, I must give them credit for that. You know, they're out there. Mr. Musk, the richest guy in the world, is running all over the place, cutting veterans, the needs of veterans, cutting after Social Security. There are, in addition to Musk, you got 13 nominees of Trump to head major agencies, are all billionaires. So you got a government, clearly, no embarrassment, of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, for the billionaire class. And then what is, I would hope, would be upsetting to all Americans, no matter what their politics may be. You can be conservative about this. You got a president who is moving us very rapidly into an authoritarian form of society. I mean, you don't sue media in America because they say something bad.
But he does. He is. Now what? He's arresting people for their speech. He's suing them because of their takes. Now what? I get you some subs and it gave one to Will Neff. I think he owes you some now. Hell yeah, brother.
About you. Alexandria and I got about 500 lawsuits there, but we happen to believe in democracy. You don't ask for the impeachment of judges because they issue a ruling which you...
Would you agree that we need the Democratic voter far more than we need AOC or Bernie, but in order to get those voters, we need AOC and Bernie? Here's the reality. Okay, here's the reality. I am way to the left of Bernie and AOC. They're basically barely on my horizon. But where I am and what you think of me doesn't matter. All right? What matters is, who do people trust? I wish they trusted me. I wish I was the fucking most popular leftist in America. You know, I wish it was me that was in charge, but guess what? It isn't. So, and I'm sure you feel the same way about yourself, right? You wish you were the king, but you're not. Okay. So you deal with that reality. I'm not in charge. That's fine. Bernie Sanders, and to a lesser extent AOC, have the trust of a lot of people that are way, way, way to the right wing in ways that I never will. A lot of regular, everyday people know Bernie Sanders. They trust Bernie Sanders. They like Bernie Sanders. So when he talks about this shit in this moment of disillusionment, people want to flock to these people. Now, there's a population of people that recognize that AOC and Bernie Sanders have embarrassed themselves, have, compromised themselves, have made decisions that hurt people, that have made compromises and that didn't work, that supported people that shouldn't be supported. They fucked up. I was calling them out for fucking up every step of the way. Like when I was saying Joe Biden should drop out and they were saying he shouldn't, they were wrong. I was right. I wish they had primaried his ass. I wish Bernie Sanders had primaried his ass in 2024. I wish Bernie Sanders had said, you are a bad president. You're in the pockets of the fucking billionaire class. You're a puppet of AIPAC. And I'm ready. I'm going to primary your fucking ass. I wish Bernie Sanders had done that. Maybe he wouldn't have won. But I wish he had done that. Mike, it's not a matter of trust for you. You know things, and dumb idiots who don't know anything find people who know things to be grating and bothersome. Hasan gets away with knowing things because he hides behind bro styling. I mean, my problem is I don't care about lying to you just to make friends. Like, I'm not going to like pump people up that are frauds because I want to be friends with people. And when people see that I'm willing to speak freely and speak my mind, they think it's some sort of like tactic because that's how they think. The number one strategy that to know how people, that if somebody is kind of like sussy, is they're like, oh, Mike is actually an X, Y, and Z instead of what I say that I am openly. Do you think that I could put up some sort of act for years? And the reason why they do that is they don't want to deal with my arguments because my arguments are not easy for them to refute. I think that Bernie and AOC were scared about being blamed for Trump winning again. If they were too antagonistic to the Democratic Party, they should have just realized they'll be blamed regardless. And they were blamed. They were blamed. And they are blamed. And they are disrespected. And they are backstabbed. Sarah McBride and other devs have discussed how the party must accept devs with differing stances on trans rights to not alienate people. Sarah McBride is just a careerist, you know?
Disagree with. So it is, these are tough times. And what we have got to do is rally the working families of this country to stand up to oligarchy and to demand that we have an economy and a government that works for all, not just the people on top.
So one way that this government, I think, the Trump administration has been able to very expertly tackle these issues is by using an entry point of pre-established marginalization. Obviously, the erosion of civil liberties is happening all around, but like in terms of attacking free speech, a fundamental principle that I think all Americans agree on. And the way that he's done this, the way that this administration has attacked free speech is by doing something that previously has only been utilized in the darkest times of American history. I'm of course talking about Mahmoud Khalil being potentially being deported, or at least having his green card revoked for basically nothing. That the administration has all but admitted for no discernible reason other than the fact that he was the lead negotiator on the student side, the student protesters at Columbia campus. On top of that, just like in Nazi Germany, the Trump administration is now trying to put up an academic receivership and take charge and take control over different institutions within Columbia. And I feel like this is a grave mistake. Do you feel like the Democrats have any sort of interest in fighting back against this? Not even, regardless of what their opinion might be on Israel, the fact is that this is greatly going to expand, and it's simply just the entry point. Like the Palestine conversation is simply an entry point that has at least like some semblance of institutional backing. But it's obvious to me that they're going to go after a lot of other people, including but not limited to the French researcher, according to Le Monde, that was denied entry into the country because they looked through his phone and they found out that he had criticized Trump's elimination of grants.
I think there actually is.
Critique of Hasan: he spends too much time contextualizing the conversation before allowing his subjects to respond. I think a couple things here. Hasan is used to longer form interviews and he's not as used to short form ones, and he wants to give them, you know, I think part of it is he wants to challenge them and give facts so that they have to make a more fulsome answer, which is good because that's a different style than most of the time. He's not a typical interviewer that wants to ask these very open-ended questions. He wants to challenge them and push them with important context for the viewer. I think that's totally fine.
Support for it because because of the free speech grounds on it. Because of the free speech grounds, because when ICE came to try to pick up, in Mahmoud Khalil's case, when they tried to pick him up, they offered no warrant. These were unmarked people. There were no charges. And so you have Senator Durbin and Senate Judiciary, right, Bernie? I think he
is the ranking member of the Judiciary.
I believe they released a statement talking about how they want to move on this. But I also think that it goes without saying that there is still profound money and interest that remains dedicated on both sides.
Has Ethan lost his shit on Bernie and AOC talking, Hasan talking to Bernie and AOC? Yes. Yes, he did. What he did is he found some sort of ultra leftist who is like, don't talk to Bernie and AOC, they're genocide supporters. And that's what he promoted. Somebody give me a link to that. Also, you can see why the CIA loves ultras. Why the security state loves anarchists. Because they're dumb.
Of the aisle in trying to marginalize and also conflate criticism of Israel as anti-Semitism, right. And we have to be very aware of that too.
We have very
that account. It was disappointing to see the Fed posting. Bernie just literally voted for genocide on Palestinians. We're just supposed to be cool with Hasan the Hun normalizing him in leftist spaces. No, fuck that. Hasan is often a positive influence, but this is a fucking penalty. Fuck Bernie, fuck AOC, and fuck you for platforming them. They're just using words. They're just using words.
Limited time, and you guys have to.
Do I need to? Sorry.
You got no time.
I'm going.
Okay.
It's my cue.
All right.
Just
Sorry,
a minute.
The thing about Hasan is, like, I wish he needs to be like, this is my personal opinion with Hasan. He needs to be a little bit more pushy. He needs to be a little bit more pushy. Like, I'm gonna have 50,000 people watching. I need to have this amount of time locked in. Like, and it's going to be 10 times, 20 times more than the people you have in the rally. The rally is important because of the visuals of so many people in the same room, but I have more people watching than you're ever going to get it to show up for a rally. So we need to have this space respected. Like, he should do that. You know, I think Hasan's problem is he still thinks of himself as like just a Twitch streamer guy. He doesn't really think about the true clout that he does have. And it's not because he's trying to be arrogant. It's more like he's helping them be smarter.
All right, perfect. One question I actually wanted to ask you before we let you go is you've also talked about recently with the New York Times about what the future of the Democratic Party looks like and what maybe young enterprising individuals must do. And I believe I'm paraphrasing here. You said something along the lines of like running as an independent rather than utilizing the party.
For me, that's not a very radical concept because I am the longest serving independent in American congressional history, and I've always run as an independent. Look, I think the Democrats over the years deserve credit for the work they've done on women's rights, on gay rights, on civil rights in general, fighting bigotry.
Destiny didn't get any consequences, Mike. All that effort for nothing. What do you mean? He's never going to get unbanned from Twitch, and he's being sued, and he's being investigated for crimes. What do you mean? No accountability. And almost all of his close collaborators distance themselves, except the most weirdo freaks. What are you talking about? I think maybe you should like let the why don't you wait until the statute of limitations on the crimes runs out before you spike the football?
deserve credit, and they've made progress. But I don't think anybody with a straight face can tell you that they've stood up for the working class of this country. And I think that's why...
Destiny didn't get any consequences, Mike. All that effort, drama already for getting illegal. I think he's trying to say that people are forgetting that Destiny is a fucking sex criminal. I mean, when you have the LFSF's mods purged twice to, you know, sweep for the guy, I mean, what can you say? Anytime he pops up, people are like, isn't this guy a rapist? Or isn't this guy a sex criminal? I don't know if he ever raped anyone, but I'm just describing the comments that are being made.
So many working class people have drifted into the Republican Party, not because they believe in tax breaks for billionaires or they don't believe that climate change is real. It's they look at the Democrats and there's not much there. So what my view is people should think about running as they want. Progressive independents should run as progressive Democrats. But don't necessarily feel that you have to run within the Democratic Party. And I think as you may recall, in Nebraska, a fellow named Dan Osborne ran a really, really powerful campaign as an independent, running as a very proud trade unionist, running on economic issues, and he did extremely well, much better than anyone had anticipated. So that was my point, and I think it makes sense.
Do you feel like there's any sort of momentum to break through the duopoly in this structure as someone who has run as an independent?
It is. It's a long discussion. If you're asking me, do I think we could start a third party tomorrow? I don't, for a lot of reasons.
Why not? I mean, like, do I think we could start a third party tomorrow? Like, you know, yeah, of course it's not going to happen overnight in the sense that we're going to just start a third party and instantly win. Let's say this. If you could know at 3 election time that we could start a left-wing party and they would win a landslide in 3 elections, but you'd have to lose 2 more elections on the way. So on the 3rd election, we win in a landslide, but we lose 2 more elections. So 1 more midterm and 1 more presidential year are both lost. But you know for a certainty that 3 elections from now, we win a landslide and we get to enact all the policies we want. Our magical Christmas land comes true. Would that be worth doing? And so, like, that is the kind of, like, question, which is, okay, the Democratic Party right now is at an all-time low in popularity. The leadership of the Democratic Party is weak. Who are they? If you started a third party and you directly challenged for the voice of the center left in this country, who are they going to throw up to stop you? Who is going to be the party? Who is going to be the representative of the Democrats? We have no donors. Yes, you do. It's the Bernie Sanders donors. And by the way, money matters less than ever before. And more money will arise, the more likely it is that you're going to win. Like, this is happening all over the world. Whether it's Mélenchon, whether it's Morena in Mexico. There are left-wing parties that have popped up and competed. And I wish that wasn't the right move. I wish the Democratic Party was more democratic, but it's not. It's a party captured by the donor class and the consultant class. They just don't care what you and I think.
With restrictions in various states making it almost impossible. But I think what you're seeing is massive discontent with both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. More and more people are looking for, I think, independent alternatives.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, all right. Listen, great to see you.
We'll hopefully do this again very soon.
Okay. Take care.
All right. We'll go over the.
I think the main thing that I would say is I don't think Bernie and AOC really even entertain the idea, and I haven't seen any. Okay. Here's what I think we should do. We've got to change the conversation. How do we change the conversation? The only thing that we're lacking right now is actual honest to God data. I wonder what the data would be. I wonder if somebody did a poll where we called up the American people and we said to them, would you be interested in a new political party led by Bernie Sanders and people who agree with Bernie Sanders? That's what I would. That's the only thing I want to know. Would you support a new political party led by Bernie Sanders? And I want to see what the results would be. So you could versus a Democratic Party led by Joe Biden a party led by Bernie Sanders and a party led by Donald Trump. And I want to see what the numbers would be. Let's see what the numbers would be. Joe Biden's Democratic Party or Chuck Schumer's Democratic Party, whatever you want to say, whoever you want to do Chuck Schumer as the leader, he's the leader. Chuck Schumer versus Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump, and see where it is. I don't know where it would come out. I don't know how it would shake out. But I'm curious. I could see all sorts of results, right? I could see Donald Trump at 40%, Bernie at 35%, and the Democrats at 20-something%. I could see that. I could also see Bernie Sanders at 50. There's a whole range of shit that I could see. I don't know what the answer would be.